Hey guys, Izzy here with DonnyFL. Today we are going to be talking about the Venturi Avenger. Very popular gun, especially since the version 2 came out with the whip stock. Really nice, by the way. For the price point, you guys got to get it accurate. Nice. Alright, so first thing we're going to get to today obviously is going to be our suppressors. I got two of them here. I got the Koi and I got the Tanto here. These are our two suppressors that we highly recommend using for this. Not just because of suppression, but the how easy it makes it to fill the gun without having to remove the suppressor. So some of you guys that go way back when the first version came out, you know, we had the standard adapter that was not extended on here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. So when you first buy the Avenger, it has its factory shroud cap here. We made this one. So before this one, we actually had one that didn't have this tube back here, which didn't support the barrel. But customer demand, and after some research and development on this, we found out that making this adapter here with this section back here to support the barrel increased accuracy and helped support the barrel internally, the shroud, to keep it nice and centered, which also helped reduce the clipping issues that we're having with our first version adapter. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. One other thing too before I actually put it in, before I forget, so you guys can see the holes here. So what that does also, it allows the shroud to be used as a expansion chamber. It does help suppressing the gun even further. It's a very quiet gun as it is already, but integrating the shroud into being able to use that as a suppression tool helps us out a lot more. So just adding this alone does reduce the sound quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. So what you hear there, when you put it in, you feel it crashing into the suppressor in there. So what that does is you grab that suppressor internally, and once you start threading and tightening it, it brings that barrel dead center with that shroud, which is something that you really want, you know, especially if you don't want any clipping issues. So now that I got that on there, we're going to be talking about the suppressors and why we recommend them. Let me take this cap off too, because then you'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit. So what I just removed is actually the fill cap that covers the fill port on this. So you guys can see here, we got the Koi and the Tanto. This is a Koi with our cone cap, and this is our Tanto with our standard bolt cap. So these two are interchangeable back and forth. The reason I brought this one is if you're filling the gun, you can see, I'm going to line these up, you can see how much more this cone cap sticks out past the bolt. So these are two lined up butt to where they would normally meet. So you can see you got I'm going to say about a ½ inch is what you get of additional distance over the standard cap. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is, if you see here, we have the fill port here, and normally when you put your fill hose on there, that thing sticks out a good inch and a half or so. And if you were to have one of our suppressors, let's say for example the Tatsu or the Sumo, you know, those suppressors are thicker than these. So when you put those on there, it gets in the way of filling this gun. Let's see if I got one right here. We'll use this as an example. Alright, so this is a Fat Boy. It is thicker than the Sumo, but the same thing applies to it. So if you put it on, alright, so if you guys can see there, that line, the center line between the fill port and the Fat Boy, you know, they cross. So if you were to put a fill whip, you know, you can't get it in there properly, even with our extended adapter. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and then I'm going to put on the Tanto with our flat cap on there. By the way, since I got this in the video, yes, we are out of stock on these. We are going to be getting more of these at the end of January 2022. I almost said 2021, but 2022, we're going to be getting more Fat Boys. And also, the muzzle brake that we have for these, they're also going to be available, I'm going to say mid-January 2022, maybe towards the end of January as well. So keep an eye out for those guys. As soon as we get them in, they will be up on the website for sale and at your dealers everywhere. Utah Airguns, Southern Precision, Air Weapons, Crail, whoever orders them will have them. So ask for them. Alright, so now that we moved on from there, I'm going to go ahead and put the Tanto, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here. So you can see the Tanto is a little more slimline on there. There we go. So you can actually see, I can actually point my finger right at it, and I'm going to say my finger is probably about the same thicknesses as the actual adapter that's going to be going on here. The hose is usually a lot thinner, so you can see I can directly put a airline on there. Now some of you guys have the extended adapters that go on here, and that sometimes may cause a problem. Not really, but if you want a little more room, we do have the cone cap. It'll work just fine with the standard bolt cap, which is what this one has, but we'll put this one on and you guys will see the different look on there. It's a little oddball looking, but it does, like I said, it does give you more room. So you can see you got a small lip there, you got the cone, but you can see how much more room. You got a ½ an inch more of space between there. So if you got a really long connector or something that has like a 45-degree angled hose fill whip on there, this will give you the opportunity to put something longer on there. And again, it's still very straightforward. It's there's no kinks or anything in the way. But yeah, so a lot of customers ask me when I get my emails from you guys, asking what do I recommend for the Avenger. Normally I would say the Sumo would be the best way to go, but after getting some customer feedback, they're getting some accuracy issues, and we believe that that is caused by the excess amount of internal volume inside the suppressor on the Sumo. So what I recommend is our Tanto. So this is a 25 caliber Avenger. This is a 25-30 Tanto. And with this adapter, it's super quiet. All you hear is the internals of the action of the gun and the impact of the projectile downrange. It does a really good job. You could use the Koi as well. And again, if you got a 25 caliber, you're going to want to go with a 25-30. If you got a 22 caliber, you can go with a 22-25 on both of these models here. If you have a 17 caliber, you can go with a 17-22 caliber versions of these two suppressors. And again, this is the Tanto, and this is our Koi that's on here now, and they're both available with the cone cap. It is a 1/2x20 thread on these. So if you want to put one of these on there, make sure that you get the 1/2x20 thread version of these. You'll see it in the description on the website. The end on the adapter, the male threaded end, is 1/2x20. So you got to make sure you get the same thread on both sides on these. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you guys learned something good today. Hopefully I answered some of your questions that you guys had out there on email land that are asking us for some information. So hopefully this helps you out. And another thing I want to put out too, the Avenger has a Picatinny / dovetail rail up here. If you guys did not know, Saber Tactical does make these full Picatinny rails for the Avenger. I don't know if you see that there. I'm going to turn it this way a little bit. You can see our Saber Tactical logo right there. But these are actually really nice. They're made out of high quality 6061 aluminum. I believe the original ones that are on here are, I'm gonna say it's called pot grade aluminum, which is just recycled aluminum, because they're really crappy. I don't want to put you guys down over here at Air Venturi, but you know, we do have these really nice Picatinny rails if you want something other than just having to use either that dovetail or the Picatinny reel they put on there. So this works really well. If you guys are interested, it's available on sabertacticalinc.com. They're about 30 bucks, 35 bucks, I believe, for them. They fit directly on there. They also fit the old version of the Avenger as well. So if you guys want to change up the look slightly, it's the way to go, guys. Hopefully this is way more information than you guys needed. If you have any questions, please let us know. We'll answer your emails and questions as soon as possible. Thank you very much, guys, and have a great day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.